Hello everyone, this is Shagufta Zubair Pathan, lecturer from KCT's Krishna College of Pharmacy, Karad. I welcome you all again for our next session on diabetes. Today we are talking about a very serious disease, that is the diabetes, because over 30 million people have been diagnosed with diabetes in India. So that's why it is necessary to create an awareness among our community. So basically, this diabetes is a chronic endocrine disease. Of carbohydrate, protein and fat metabolism characterized by defective insulin secretion, glucagon. So after completion of this topic, learners will be able to understand about diabetes, identify manifestations of diabetes, describe pathophysiology of diabetes. Let's see the content. In this video, we will discuss about diabetes, its causes, risk factors, manifestations, pathophysiology, diagnosis of disease and treatment. Before going to our important concept, that is the diabetes, let us know about the insulin. So basically, insulin is the hormone. It is made by islets of Langerhans of pancreas. Okay, so that acts like a key to let glucose from the food we eat pass from the bloodstream into the cells in the body to produce energy. All carbohydrate foods are broken down into glucose molecules in the blood, and insulin helps glucose to get into the cell. As I have told you, diabetes is a condition that impairs the body's ability to process blood glucose, that is called as blood sugar level. Right? So definition can be, it is a chronic endocrine disorder in which the body's ability to produce or to respond to the hormone insulin is impaired, resulting in abnormal metabolism of carbohydrates and elevated levels of glucose in the blood. Etiology of the disease. Diabetes is a chronic condition associated with abnormally high levels of sugar, that is glucose molecules, in the blood. Insulin produced by the pancreas lowers blood glucose. Absence or insufficient production of insulin or an inability of the body to properly use insulin causes the diabetes. There are different types of diabetes. Three major diabetes types can develop: type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes and gestational diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is also known as juvenile diabetes. This type occurs when the body fails to produce insulin. People with type 1 diabetes are insulin dependent, which means they must take artificial insulin daily to stay alive. In type 2 diabetes, it affects the way the body uses insulin, while the body still makes insulin, unlike in type 1. The cells in the body do not respond to it as effectively as they once did. This is the most common type of diabetes. And the last one is the gestational diabetes. This diabetes generally occurs in women during pregnancy, when the body can become less sensitive to insulin. Gestational diabetes does not occur in all women and usually resolves after giving birth. So less common types of diabetes include monogenic diabetic and cystic fibrosis related diabetes. So here we can see type 1 diabetes can be diagnosed. It is often diagnosed in young children, but it can be diagnosed at any age. Development: the immune system will destroy any new beta cells in the body produces. Treatment: type 1 causes dependence upon injected or pumped insulin for life. Prevention and control: type 1 cannot be prevented and it cannot be controlled without insulin. Type 2 diabetes, diagnosed in people over age of 40, but can be diagnosed at any age. Development: the body becomes insulin resistant and does not use insulin properly. Treatment: treated initially with diet, exercise or medication. Over time, Some type 2 may have to inject insulin. Prevention and control. Healthy lifestyle choices are known to lower the risk of type 2. So here is the blood glucose chart. Generally it is expressed in units milligram per deciliter or millimole or in millimole. We can see doctors refer to some people as having pre-diabetic condition or borderline diabetes. Okay, so what is this pre-diabetic condition or borderline diabetes means what? When the blood sugar is usually in the range of 100 to 125 milligrams per deciliter, then that condition is called as pre-diabetic condition or borderline diabetes. Normal blood sugar level, it is between 80 to 100 mg per deciliter, whereas person with diabetes will have a fasting blood sugar higher than 126 mg per dl. The pre-diabetic level means that the blood glucose is higher than usual but not so high as to constitute diabetes. People with pre-diabetes are however at risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Risk factors for diabetes generally being overweight, family history of diabetes, having high density lipoprotein, that is cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, that cholesterol level lower than 40 mg per deciliter or 50 mg per deciliter, or if there is a history of high blood pressure, or if anyone having gestational diabetes, if there is a history of polycystic ovary syndrome. Okay, so these are the various risk factors. Let's see one by one. Some risk factors include family history. Anyone with parent or sibling with type 1 diabetes has a slightly increased risk of developing the condition. Genetics. The presence of certain genes indicates an increased risk of developing type 1 diabetes. Geography. The incidence of type 1 diabetes tends to increase as you travel away from the equator. Age. Although type 1 diabetes can appear at any age, it appears at two noticeable peaks. The first peak occurs in children between 4 and 7 years old, and the second is in children between 10 and 14 years old. Here are the symptoms of diabetes. You can see always tiredness, frequent urination, always hungry, sexual problems, sudden weight loss, found that won't heal, vaginal infections are there, numbness or tingling in hands and feet, always thirsty, blurred vision. These are the signs. Diabetes may cause various complicated conditions. Heart and blood vessel disease. Diabetes dramatically increases your risk of various cardiovascular problems, including coronary artery disease with chest pain, that is called as angina pectoris, heart attack, stroke, narrowing of the artery, that is called as atherosclerosis, and high blood pressure. It also causes nerve damage, that is called as neuropathy. Excess sugar can injure the walls of tiny blood vessels that nourish your nerves, especially in the legs. This can cause tingling, numbness, and burning or pain that usually begins at the tips of the toes or fingers and gradually spreads upwards. Kidney damage, that is called as nephropathy. Diabetes can damage this delicate filtering system. Severe damage can lead to kidney failure. Eye damage. Diabetes can damage the blood vessels of the retina, that is diabetic retinopathy, potentially causing blindness, cataract, and glaucoma. Foot damage. Nerve damage in the feet or poor blood flow to the feet increases the risk of various foot complications. If left untreated, cuts and blisters can become serious infections that may ultimately require toe, foot or leg amputations. Skin and mouth condition. Diabetes may lead you more susceptible to infections in the skin and mouth, including bacterial and fungal infections, gum disease, and dry mouth also are more likely. Pregnancy condition. High blood sugar levels can be dangerous for both the mother and the baby. The risk of miscarriage, stillbirth and birth defects increases when diabetes becomes very controlled. Here is the classification. You can see in this picture there is a healthy person. That healthy person can secrete insulin from beta cells of islets of Langerhans. The food material which is ingested by that person that goes to the stomach and converted ultimately into the glucose molecules. With the help of this insulin, that glucose molecules can reach to the muscles, and in this way the blood glucose level gets maintained. And here that muscle is able to use glucose due to the presence of insulin. Let's see what happened in type 1 diabetes. In type 1 diabetes, as there is abnormality in the production of insulin, there is no presence of insulin. Pancreas cannot create, or beta cells of islets of Langerhans cannot secrete the insulin. The food material which is ingested by that person, it goes to stomach and converted into glucose molecules, but that glucose molecules cannot be uptaken by muscles as there is no presence of insulin. So muscle is unable to use glucose due to no insulin. In type 2 diabetes, as there is production of insulin by the pancreas of that person, but there are receptors which becomes resistant to insulin. The food material which is ingested by that person goes to stomach and converts to glucose molecules, but cannot be uptaken by the muscles as there is resistance to insulin. So here insulin is present in type 2 diabetes, but it cannot be utilized for the muscle. Ultimately, our body regulates the blood glucose level. See how high blood glucose in blood, pancreas secretes insulin, which is secreted by beta cells of islets of Langerhans of pancreas, which are uptaken by the fat cells that utilize the glucose from the blood, and in this way, blood glucose level is maintained. If there is history of diabetes in our family history, and if there is exposure to environmental conditions, maybe viral infection, physical activity or dietary factors of lifestyle changes, etc., there is this triggers inflammatory response or autoimmune system, and due to that beta cells get disturbed or they cannot function properly, and that's why there is hyperglycemia, which leads to various complicated conditions like retinopathy, nephropathy, neuropathy, coronary artery diseases, peripheral arterial diseases, and stroke. Diagnosis. Diabetes can be diagnosed by random blood sugar test plus fasting blood sugar test. In random blood sugar test, blood sugar values are expressed in milligrams per deciliter or in milliliters. Regardless of when you last ate, a random blood sugar level of 200 mg per deciliter or higher suggests diabetes, especially when coupled with any of the signs and symptoms of diabetes, such as frequent urination and extreme thirst. Fasting blood sugar test. In fasting blood sugar test, a blood sample will be taken after an overnight fast. A fasting blood sugar level less than 100 mg per deciliter, that is called as normal. But if it exceeds between 100 to 125 milligrams per deciliter, it is considered as pre-diabetic, that is called as borderline diabetes. and if it exceeds 126 milligrams per deciliter,